What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a very important conversation here and dialogue on the future of the ISO-8 progression, but as well as the best characters and teams we should be capitalizing on while we await for what's going to be happening to this ISO-8. So if you guys recall, this ISO-8 mechanic was really introduced into the game as a way to add theory crafting aspect into your team synergies. It's really changed the dynamic of, which character on your team has become the main sole attacker, which one should be, utilizing and trying to support, with heals, whether it's tankiness with the fortifier, or even be able to inflict and add vulnerable, so that way your main damage dealer utilizing striker can get additional attack. So it really has fundamentally change a lot of the dynamics in terms of team synergy. So but now what remains to be seen is, we know with level 100 around the corner, we know there's gear tier in level 19. Now it's going to be the future and the next level of progression for ISO-8, and that's definitely something that needs to be reviewed here, because I do believe it is a material and resource we need to be saving, especially min-maxing certain characters in your team. So let's get right to it, guys. As a quick recap, just remember there is the big Apocalypse investment, right? Which is the 4 Legendary Horseman teams. You need to bring all of them to T2 level 5 blue, which is the highest level currently in the game for that unlock, as well as the 3 strike characters being Kestrel, Deathpool, as well as Spider Weaver. All 3 of them being needed as well. So that's, essentially 23 characters that you're going to be utilizing this for. However, what hasn't been known to us yet is what the new next level will be, which is potentially the T3 ISO-8, and potentially what we've seen with the past is that they released up to level 3 and then later opened up the floor for level 5. So what's also interesting about this T2 is that we do need certain levels of it in raids, such as the Incursion, the Doom raids, and so forth. So something to be mindful of. This could very well be a restriction for us in the future, maybe when it comes to Dark Dimension. That remains to be seen, but obviously we'll keep you guys up to date as that information comes, or even with data mining as well. And lastly, guys, I think a really big notable point is needing to save and build the best characters in the game right now, but then after doing so, saving and conserving these resources, because we do not have any idea what the next ISO-8 level will be and what it will require. And as we've seen with the green, there initially will be a bottleneck where you can only upgrade certain X number of characters, and then you run out of that resource, and then you finally have to go through certain game modes to unlock this. So it would be cool if the next level is red. The red color for the T3 to match with the gear tier 19, but I just use that as an example. Obviously we don't know, right? But that remains to be seen, guys. So keep in mind, right now currently the only reason why you should be bringing up these characters to level 5 would be the big Apocalypse investment, and then as well as the best characters in the game, the god tier level characters, in my opinion, that do deserve this upgrade. And after doing so, there isn't really much reason to bring other characters. But having said that, I'm always for the agency and autonomy of the game. Obviously build characters that you like as well, if you want to bring them up and they're fun to play for yourself. At the end of the day, it's about having fun as well, guys. So having said that, god tier characters, these are, in my opinion, the best characters in the game right now that we should be fully pushing all the way to T2 level 5 blue, even if they do not have that requirement of the big Apocalypse, right? Reason being is because these characters are some of the best in the game, and they have a meaningful update and impact to your account. So I'll start from left to right, top down, so that way you guys can get a quick little recap of why they should be upgraded. But each and every one of them have a really strong place in the game right now, and that's currently December 2023. Obviously this can change with the meta, but I do see that there's going to be some good staying power as well, just because of some of the updates, such as Dark Dimension 7 with the mythic stages being required and released for us. So obviously Super Scroll on the top left here makes the most sense, because he's the strongest character in the game right now, so I'm not going to spend too much time on him. Kang is another strong option. I mean, before Super Scroll, Kang was basically, next to Big Apocalypse in terms of importance and impact to the account. And the amount of value he has in all game modes, unbelievable. We now have Val here, being far more in the game, as well as the Red Stars, and one of the few characters that can actually bring back multiple characters back with the revive. It really makes sense. An absolute game changer, and it's very, 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 very strong in the meta right now, especially being part of the Bifrost team for incursion raids. You absolutely need this team. We have Black Cat and Green Goblin being the most recent new legendary characters in the game. I think Black Cat has an even stronger prominence just because she is actually part of the arena meta now. We've seen Green Goblin kind of come into the arena fold as well with some synergistic teams, but just remember, these two are some of the newest teams in the game, and especially Gobby here being part of Crucible and War teams and having that value. Right now, we see them typically with these newer teams released, especially being legendary, that they're going to be likely required for some sort of future event here, and for that reason, his value goes even higher. Both Black Cat and Gobby's kit are exceptional. I mean, they're just some of the best legendaries in the game, if not the best right now, especially outside of the Horseman character teams. Definitely want to build them up. Finally, move down to this lower tier here, where I do believe they're not as important as the top 5 there, obviously, but by bringing them to T2 level 5, you're just going to be getting a lot of value and potency, especially with stat increases, right? Robbie Reyes, very similar to Black Cat. Probably the strongest, next to Black Cat in terms of the Secret Defenders team, especially when you're trying to stay in the meta. But as well, Robbie really has cemented his place in the game in all game modes, just due to how his mechanic and kit works, but as well being that king of the Dark Dimension city section. So you definitely want to bring him in. He's going to make it a lot easier if you guys are going through any Dark Dimension mode with Robbie Reyes. He's going to absolutely crush it. Then we have an X Factor like Quicksilver, very similar to Kang, an important slotting character that's great in all game modes. He's actually part of a counter team right now as well in Arena. But again, you can just slot him anywhere. Huge Dark Dimension 6 value, usable in all game modes, and a very, very strong character slot, plug and play. We have Nova here as well, being a prominent legendary character. Not as, the kit is not as great as Black Cat and Green Goblin, but just being with him being a recently released legendary character as well, and being a Nova team that can be utilized for Black Cat's legendary event, the top 5 War team right now with his Nowhere respectively, they have a lot of value. So building him up is obviously going to make a stronger team. But as well, I'm actually using him and trying to mix and match right now some bio synergies in the incursion rates right now. So, I mean, he just has immense value in all game modes just because of how well-rounded his kit is. But just not as good as the recent legendary releases, but still a very, very good character. And lastly, guys, we have Dr. Doom and Dormammu. I definitely think now they belong in this slot because they've always had good kits, don't get me wrong. But statistically, they've been a little crept just because of the fact that the game has changed quite a bit since their release in both Dark Dimension 4 and 5 respectively. Although their stats aren't as great as they used to be, they are still hands down some of the best characters in the game because of the kit that they have, the synergies, and now with the recent Dark Dimension 7 release details of them being categorized in this mythic category, it does now make sense potentially to have some value to bring these characters in, just because there's only so many that we're going to be able to utilize in the mythic section, and guess what, there are options to be used. So that's really, really good, guys. So yeah, that's it, guys, right here. Those are the god tier characters right now, the 10 best in the game right now. Which leads me to my takeaway, right? Keep in mind, guys, this is what I've shown here. My game priorities has always been raid and arena characters. So that's where my focus has been with the ISO-8 upgrades. Dark Dimension mode for myself as well, just because those two definitely well-round a lot of characters in your game. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to remind you guys, like, obviously, this is just a guide. Always build your game priorities. What matters to you? My priority has always been Raid, Arena, and Dark Dimension, as well as new legendary character unlocks and meta teams. But at the end of the day, focus on your account. Some of these characters are some of the best in the game that I want to point out to you, but it's not a do or die. Even if you don't bring them to level 5 here, it's not a must-have or required. I just think that these are some of the best in the game right now, and it makes sense they will add an impact to your game. But at the end of the day, we don't know what these requirements are going to be in the future, and it's a speculation anyways. But given from what we see in the past, it always does make sense to save the resources you don't need to use, and that's really what I'm hoping to help you guys out with. Just streamline what should or shouldn't be done. But there you guys have it. We are good to go here then for the ISO-8 discussions. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You agree or disagree, but definitely exciting to always see updates coming. We will see what's going to be unfolding once they release details on the next level ISO-8. But until then, guys, I'll keep you guys up to date. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.